Doesn't deliverance feel good? Doesn't it feel good to be delivered from that narcissist? I'm free now. I'm as free as a bird. And I'm glad about it. Ain't it good news to finally be free from bondage? Don't you feel relieved to have that knot in that soul tie be loosened? Doesn't it finally feel good to have the shackles off your feet? And now you can dance. The plagues the narcissist must go through for oppressing God's people. God has already told us we're going to reap what we sow. He says that he's not going to be mocked. Did the enemy and the narcissist think that they were going to get away with it? Not so. The enemy is an oppressor. And isn't that what the narcissist did to you? What exactly is oppression? Oppression is a prolonged, unjust, or cruel exercise of power and authority over others. Mistreatment of certain groups. Limiting the opportunities of others and their fundamental freedoms. Doesn't that sound familiar? Isn't that exactly what the narcissist did to you? They gave you prolonged periods of mistreatment, sometimes months, even years. They exerted power and authority over you. Many of them took advantage of their leadership role. They took advantage of their role as husband. They used their role against you. They used the role of husband to be very cruel to you. They mistreated you simply because you were a child of God. Mistreated you because you loved the Lord. Mistreated you because you knew the Lord. They limited your opportunities. They kept you from reaching certain goals and certain milestones at a certain time. They made you miss out on certain opportunities such as being a homeowner, being a parent, being wealthy. They took away some of your basic freedoms. They controlled what you ate, controlled what you wore, controlled who you hung around, controlled your daily activities, told you what you could and could not do. They exercised all sorts of oppression over you, over your life, your mind, your heart, and your spirit. But God came and delivered you out of all of your afflictions with this narcissist. God came and provided a way of escape for you. God came and built a hedge of protection around you. And now the narcissist has to face their consequences. They have to feel the wrath of God. Vengeance is the Lord's. And that vengeance is coming to the narcissist. God sent plagues to the narcissist as their compensation for oppressing you. A plague is continuous trouble or distress. It is also described as torture or torment. Again, the narcissist has to reap what they sow. They sowed seeds of torment into your life. They tortured you. And these are the very things that they now have to reap. In Exodus chapter 12, starting at verse number 12, God sent many plagues unto the Egyptians, unto Pharaoh and the Egyptians, for their oppression of God's people. God specifically targeted the Egyptians, and he sent a plague for each one of their false gods. Even though you are near or around the narcissist, God will make it so that the plague only affects them and not you. Again, you are protected by God, and your enemy is now punished. Since God's people are covered in his blood, since we're under a blood covenant, God started the 10 plagues with blood, and he ended it with blood. Each plague that he sent would escalate in severity. This will help them understand This will help them understand the seriousness of God. He told you he will not be mocked. Since the narcissists and the oppressors wanted to shed innocent blood, the first plague was God turning water into blood. Can you imagine your basic necessities, such as water, turning into blood, turning into something that is unfit to drink? Can you imagine having a thirst and not being able to satisfy it? Can you imagine needing water and having it not be available? God turned the Nile River into blood, so much so that the fish in it began to die. Needless to say, there was a stench in the air from this. The narcissist wanted to use you as a resource. They consumed you over and over again. And God made it so to where they could no longer do that. Can you imagine being in the desert heat without water? That is now how the narcissist has to live their life. They will never run across another source such as yourself. They will be thirsty forevermore, and they will never be able to partake in a source such as you. They will never be able to be around your spirit and partake of it. Next, God sent a plague of frogs. With the frogs not being able to live in the river, they're now jumping around all over the place. The Egyptians couldn't even go to bed without frogs in their bed. The frogs were everywhere. This is the beginning of pestilence, nuisances, the narcissist being annoyed, the narcissist being constantly reminded of all the chaos that they cause in your life. The next plague is gnats, followed by lice. You know how it is to encounter a swarm of gnats. They get all in your nostrils. They get in your eyes. They get in your mouth if you have your mouth open. They're quite a nuisance and quite a pestilence. You can be swatting at a gnat forever and you'll never shoo it away. This is what the narcissist now has to deal with. The narcissist has to deal with swarms of pestilence, different things coming into their life, and they can try to swat it away as much as they like, and they won't go away. At times, certain types of gnats will bite. Again, it's something that's everywhere and can't be avoided. With so many gnats, they begin to lay lice, which means even more gnats. Little lice babies, just hatching on top of each other. Next was a swarm of flies. More pestilence, worsening pestilence for the narcissist. Do you know how annoying it is to try to eat something and flies are flying all around on your food? Flies spread diseases, which leads into the next plague of their livestock being stricken with disease. Horses, donkeys, cattle, camels, sheep, and goat, all stricken with diseases. Now the narcissist's money is beginning to look funny. Their livelihood is beginning to be affected. This is part of their punishment for oppressing you. Chances are they stole lots of things from you. Chances are they didn't do right by you when it came to money and resources. And God will spare no punishment in this area of their life. They will have to be punished for oppressing you financially, oppressing you through your resources. There will be no prosperity that comes to them in their business ventures and business dealings. Every time they get money, it will slip through their hands, slip through their fingers. They will not be able to hold on to it. Their pockets and their bank accounts become diseased. They will not be fruitful and they will not prosper. The next plague was boils. Boils all over the Egyptians' bodies. Boils that only they suffered with. The children of God, the Israelites, did not receive such boils. It was only the Egyptians. Can you imagine their jealousy? They're looking at their neighbor with no boils, and they're sitting over there with painful, maybe even itchy boils all over their body. They will have painful physical reminders of the pain that they put you through, of the suffering that they put you through. They will have sickness in their body for the sickness that they caused you. They caused you mental pain, emotional anguish. Sometimes they even caused you physical sickness because of their ill treatment towards you. This will be returned to them. None of these pestilences are coming to the narcissists because you wished it on them. This is the law of God. God says we're going to reap what we sow. The next plague was locusts. The locusts were everywhere. They were eating the trees, eating the leaves on the trees. They were all over the ground. You couldn't even see the ground because there were so many locusts. This is more pestilence. The locusts would eat the crops. And this would be productivity from the narcissists would be destroyed. They would put their hand to the plow and it would be in vain. Whatever seeds that they sowed would not reap a harvest. Because they sowed terrible seeds, because they sowed seeds of mischief and discord, because they sowed seeds of all the works of the flesh, nothing that they do will prosper. They will not see returns on their investment. They will not see any yields. The next plague is darkness. The Egyptians could not see anything that was in front of them. They couldn't see each other either. The darkness lasted for 3 days. The narcissist will be in a perpetual state of darkness, and this is because your light has left them. They will be in a state of confusion. They will be lost. They will not know which way to go and which way to turn. For all the times that they had you in the dark, for all the times that they had you in places of confusion, this is now their punishment, for them to be in darkness. The last plague is death of the firstborn. This is the last plague. This is also the plague involving blood. Since you are a child of God and you are covered by the blood of the Lamb, this plague will not affect you. Only your oppressors. The narcissists will not experience growth in their future. Their future is basically canceled out. It's basically null and void. They will not have anything that will carry on and last into the future. This is a canceling out of everything in their future. This is a forfeiture of their future. Because of what they did to you, because they took away the years of your youth, because they made you a lot of false promises and a lot of false hope, God is restoring your years while taking away theirs. This last plague is what broke Pharaoh and made him say, the Israelites can now be free. Not only did he let them go, but he also said they could take what they wanted with them, ask what they want. But here is the classic narcissism behind it. After he freed the Israelites, he told Moses, he asked Moses for his blessing. Ask God for a blessing. After you've done all the nastiest, dirtiest, most despicable things that you can think of to a group of people, you don't think you deserve punishment for that? You have the nerve to ask for a blessing in response to your evil deeds. And isn't this the selfish nature of a narcissist? All they can think about is themselves. They don't have any remorse for what they did to God's people. All they can think about is what benefits them, what blessings they can get out of the deal. It's always going to be tit for tat for a narcissist. They're going to want something in return if they do anything. And they'll get what they deserve. They're going to get a return on their investment. All the nasty things that they did to you in a series of months and years, they're going to get it back. Probably even triple fold. You don't wish anything bad on your enemies. You pray for your enemies. You pray for those who spitefully use you. You pray for your oppressors. But in doing so, God says you reap coals of fire on their head. They've tormented you. They've oppressed you. And they have to reap that. It's the basic law of the land. It's seed time and harvest. The narcissist chose to sow their seed. They chose a certain type of seed. They chose discord. They chose cruelty. They chose oppression. And they do have to reap it. They may not realize why they're going through what they're going through, but God is going to bring it to their remembrance. God is going to bring your face before them in a dream. They won't forget it. The plagues are not coming upon the narcissist because you say so. It's because God says so. Let them walk through their plagues while you walk into Canaan land. Let them continue to walk around in darkness while you walk into the marvelous light.